father, pop, old man, daddy, papa, dada, parent, hero. These are all ways that you can say dad. People say moms have the hardest job in the world, and they do. But it's also hard being a dad. And this is a podcast for all you dads out there. For the dads who are looking for answers. For the dads who think they have all the answers. For the dads who feel alone or the ones who may feel overwhelmed. Whether you've got it all figured out or not, we're here to join you on your dad journey. And we hope you'll join us as we take you into the world of any given dad and the Not Half Dad podcast. My name is Dan, and I'm proud to introduce you to my good friend and buddy, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
That was subtle. That was a good start. I liked that. Here, I got this big dynamic speech that I'm doing, and hey, how's it going? My name's Aaron. But that's how we're going to do it here.
What's happening, daddy-os?
Hey!
Hey!
Grab that radio voice.
That's right, Dirty Dan the Garbage Man.
That's what your kids call me.
That's right.
Your wife and kids both call me that, and it's a term of endearment.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It's a term of endearment. So here we are. We've done a lot of talking about this over the last few weeks and months, and we've a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
A lot of
more prep than my other podcast.
Yeah, well, you know what though? That's okay because
No, I like it. I'm glad.
think this is going to be a unique journey that we're getting ready to come down here.
For sure.
And basically, we're going to go throughout this first episode here and kind of explain what we're here for, what we're going to be doing, a little about ourselves, our backstories, and then what it is like to be a dad nowadays. And we'll just kind of give you that crash course into us.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to take it from there and see where this goes. But we're planning some doing, obviously the weekly podcast. We're talking about doing some live feeds down the road, maybe some video content, and everything above. So
yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fun, cathartic journey for any dads out there who feel like they're alone. We want to kind of make sure we go, listen, if you want to pump your kid across the room, you're not the only ones.
Yeah.
It happens.
Trust us.
It's okay.
Yes. Yeah, that feeling will be there. But, then you also have that feeling of running up and just giving the biggest bear hug that you can possibly imagine.
Absolutely.
And it's a wide spectrum. And you know what? I think this is important for us to say right off the bat. We're not experts.
We're not?
Trust us. Talk to our wives. We are not experts at all.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize.
But I will say this. We do have some experience, though.
Yeah.
And whether we're right or wrong, we're going to give you our experiences. And hopefully, not only would you be able to get something out of that, not only will you be able to see not what to do or what not to do, but also on top of that, let's have some fun with it, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something funny happens,
We got to tell good, funny stories, man, because kids are hilarious.
I say that you want to be a millionaire, just follow yourself around with a camcorder for a day. You're a dad. You've got the world at your disposal, and it's like that's entertainment right there.
Yeah,
whether for good or bad.
Absolutely.
But anyway, let me give you a little backstory into me. My name, once again, is Dan, and I am from Pekin, Illinois, and I lived there for 23 years. My parents were separated at a young age, and I grew up living with my dad, saw my mother every weekend, anytime I was off of school. Had a great relationship with both my dad and my mom, and my mother ended up remarrying. They've been married for, I think close to 30 years now. They've been married.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and my stepdad is an incredible human being, just like my God-given dad, and I have a very, very stable family life, and it was like that growing up. I was in Boy Scouts, I was in band, Did a lot of outings and stuff where my dad was there. My dad played trumpet, and then I ended up playing trumpet in the band. Like I said, I was in the Boy Scouts. He would come with me to the Boy Scout camping trips and the Monday night meetings and all of that stuff. So it was always a very stable, it was almost like a friendship, the type of relationship that I had with my dad. So that's kind of a little bit about that. Yeah, pretty basic story
Sure.
for my upbringing.
Sure. And I think that, we had talked about this from the beginning, is that being two dads from two very different backgrounds. I was born and raised in Peoria, South End, grew up on the South End of Peoria. And my parents got divorced when I was about 1 year old. I don't remember my parents ever being together.
Sure.
Very toxic relationship. Totally opposite from you and from Alyssa, my wife.
Yeah.
You guys came from very loving family life and everything like that. And not to say that my parents didn't love me, or don't love me, I should say. But, just a very toxic relationship between the two of them. And then, growing up, it was seeing my dad every other weekend, and then my mom kind of bashing him, and then him bashing her, and that kind of stuff. And
It's rough.
it is. It's rough on a kid, especially when you're put right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's really, really rough on a kid, and you don't know who to believe or who to listen to, or what's really going on. And that's kind of why I didn't want to have kids for a long time. I had no interest in having kids, and then Alyssa got pregnant, and here I am.
Yeah.
I love being a dad, and it's one of the greatest joys in my life. Do I get frustrated with my kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a human being.
We all do. No. Just for the people that are listening,
Yeah.
your kids are how old?
9. She just turned 9.
Just turned 9.
And 6.
Okay, and mine are 8 and 15.
Yeah.
Now, my 15-year-old, I am his stepdad, but I came into the picture when he was 2.
Yep.
So pretty much as far back as he can remember.
Sure.
That's when I came into the equation, and then, like I said, my little one is 8. Parker is my little one, and Rico is my older one, and they're a couple of characters, but I wouldn't trade them for anything.
Yeah, you were a father of 2 of the best boys I think I have known.
Oh,
Seriously, and
thank you.
I have 2 daughters, so it's very different. You're over there shooting Nerf guns. I'm over here trying to figure out how to do pigtails and ponytails and put in hair chalk and stuff. So, Dad, can you help me put in my earrings? I don't have my ears pierced. I have no idea what I'm doing right now.
Can we do a road test on this baby doll over here first before I mangle
Yeah.
your ear?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, likewise, too, I want to say that I appreciate you saying that about my kids. And in the same way, your girls are fantastic, wonderful little
Thank
girls.
you.
Yeah, and it's the same. They just, it's funny because I come over here and I'm not used to talking to little girls, and it's like,
I hope not.
I gotta. Well, yeah, no. I'm so used to talking about Call of Duty, or I'm so
Sure.
used to talking about whatever this YouTube guy that does this or that.
Yeah.
And it's like I come over here and they're talking about more innocent stuff, like my adult tooth is coming in where I lost
Yep.
my tooth,
Yep.
or this is why I named my cat Nugget, and it's like. That's so innocent and it's different, and we're gonna swan dive into that as we go through these podcasts. But I think that is the exact type of thing that we're telling you, that we're getting into here is. Everybody has a different situation.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different backstory. And like I said, we're not professionals, but we've got a lot of ground that we've covered in this dad thing.
Absolutely.
So, like I said, we're just kind of trying to introduce ourselves now. What do you think is the number one reason why you wanted to get involved with this podcast?
Well, I've been in sales my entire life, pretty much. My whole career has been in some sort of sales. I started in sales when I was like 16.
Wow.
And I'm 35 now, so 19 years I've been in sales, and it's just not a stable thing. And I know that starting a new business and everything like that is kind of rocky or whatever. Or starting any new venture is really rocky. But I wanted to do this because for me, it's going to be a cathartic sort of a thing. It's almost going to be like going to dad therapy.
Definitely, yeah.
And to be totally honest, I find myself being a better dad when I'm around you. I'm 100% serious. I'm serious.
God, do you want the keys to my car? Why you're making me blush?
I'm serious though. I really am. I noticed that when we were on vacation, we were on a family vacation, and I'm like, I'm less angry. And I'm like, it could be just because we were in the tropics.
Yes.
But I was like, I honestly think it's a lot of it is about the people that are around you. Other dads being around you that are positive, that are happy and healthy relationships with their kids and stuff like that.
Sure.
I think that just is kind of like, I'm like, man, my kids really aren't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? When we were doing some prep work the other day, I think I mentioned this. I said, and of course you're going to brag about your kids.
Oh, of course.
And you've got to. That's almost dad rule number one.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to be proud of your kids and whatnot. But I tell you what, I'll say this. When I see other kids out and about, there's some of them that are just prim and proper and manners and just fantastic kids. And then obviously we've seen the crazy ones at Walmart that are running up and down the aisles screaming and
Sure.
gallivanting on their merry way. But I tell you what, the thing is, what was the point I was going to make? I started talking about bad kids, and then I have these flashbacks, these crazy things. No, what the point that I was going to make is, man, our kids really make it easy on us.
They do.
Because they're. But I think that helps because it shows us that we're doing something right.
Yeah.
And we've got two powerful women right behind us
That's
that
right.
that are also making this whole thing work.
Yeah.
But the thing is, man, and the point that I'm trying to make with all this is, even though we have good kids, you're going to have those moments where it is a kid that you're staring at that you're like, why are you doing this?
Yep.
Why are you saying that?
I had that today.
What did I do to deserve this?
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
Why? But at the end of the day, you just got to look at it and say, that's just part of being a kid.
Yeah.
And that's just part of being a dad.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, I think for me, a big part of it is being able to hang out with another dad who's got a really good relationship. And then, I remember my time as a new dad and going, oh my God, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
And not having anyone else really there to go, it's okay. Every kid does this. It's okay for you to be upset or frustrated about it. And I want other dads to know you're not alone in the world. You're not alone. We're here. And like you said in the intro, everyone says moms have the hardest job in the world, and they do. 100% they have the hardest job in the world. But dads have a hard job too of being dads. The difference is we don't brag about it. I just love the dead air, man.
I wanted that little bit of dead air there to really emphasize. We don't need that gratification every day.
No.
Every hour.
No.
But what we do need, we love you, moms. We're totally joking.
Do.
We're totally joking. No, it's true. It's true. With me, I graduated ISU, went to Illinois State University, and got a degree in mass communication.
Yep.
And got into the radio biz. Graduated on a Saturday, started working in radio on Monday. And I did that for 5.5 years. And I was worked in promotions. I worked in on-air stuff. I was a stunt boy.
Danger Dan.
Stuntman. Yes, and I would go out and do all the crazy, wacky things out on the streets and mess with people. And it was, man, what a crazy job. Did a lot of cool things, got to meet a lot of fantastic, wonderful people. And what's crazy, now I had to get a big boy job. So I'm working at Caterpillar,
Mm-hmm.
doing audio visual for the Caterpillar Visitor Center. And I will say this, the first job that I had, there is no way on earth I could have a job like that now. Now that I have two kids, now that I've got the plate that I've got
Mm-hmm.
with all of the stuff on it, I couldn't be doing a morning show, going out and jumping in the Illinois River in the middle of winter because
Yeah.
I'm 1/16th Icelandic, or just doing all these crazy things.
Shoving your hand up a horse's,
Yes.
know.
Well, she was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me she loved me. So I thought I have to oblige.
That's right. You're just a gentleman.
I'm just a
That's what it
gentleman
is.
like that.
Yeah.
Yes. But I couldn't do a job like that. My kids would think, oh, it's so cool. But I couldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the reaction that I would get from them. It's because I'm 37 years old now. It's starting to get hard to stand up sometimes,
Yep.
starting to...
Gotta get those dad noises going.
the aches and pains is
Yeah.
it's here. But
Yeah.
so anyway, it's just I'm always fascinated by the psychology
Mm-hmm.
of parenting, fascinated by the psychology of children, the sociology of it all. It's just it's fascinating. So I look forward to diving into some of that stuff as we go along this
For
journey.
sure.
So,
For sure. Yeah. I just man, this whole thing has just been kind of a whirlwind of excitement, and when we started talking about everything, I was like, this dude gets it. He gets it, and with your experience and my not really experience, but sort of experience, I guess, and everything else that I can do, I think that we're going to be able to provide a really good, fun journey for dads out there, and it's just going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. We got some good information and some good stories, and yeah,
we got good stories on what to and what not to do.
right,
So I think when you first hear, "Hey, I'm pregnant," you're going to have a baby. You've got 9 months to prepare for this. That's
Yeah.
that's a tall order right
Yeah.
there. And I'll say this: you mentioned earlier, when I was growing up, I was the same type. I'm never going to have kids. I'm never going to get married. I'm going to just go on an adventure, just a single guy adventure for as long as I
Yeah.
can ride it. But it doesn't work out that way, because you find that one, you find that girl.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you guys out there may have not found the right girl, but regardless, you had a little one on the way, and that's okay. That's okay, because there's a lot of different ways that you can handle that, good and bad. But when I first heard that I was going to be a dad, it was different, because for me, I already had Rico in the equation.
Sure.
We hadn't been married yet, but I knew that he was going to eventually be my son. I know this is going to the woman that I'm going to marry, my wife Amanda, and so I had I've got to be a stepdad here, and then I also have a baby coming.
Right.
And as soon as it started, man, I wanted to jump on the train, and I knew that I would only have one chance to do this right. And so from day one, as soon as I was told, it was just, okay, I'm going to be at every single appointment. I'm going to be there for all the planning process, getting stuff in gear. And it just got to the point where it was like, okay, this is really going to happen. So it's either get on the train or it's going to leave you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I took it. I soaked in every moment from the first time I heard that I was going to be a dad. And, what's cool is I had my dad, who did a great job raising me, and my stepdad, he did a great job raising me. The women in my life aside, my dad has since remarried to a wonderful lady, and the moms out of the equation for right now. My dad's did a really incredible job molding me into the dad that I am now. Now that I am a dad, now that I have kids that are a little bit older, I sit there and I go, okay, what have I done right and what have I done wrong? Well, you're going to have a big list on both sides, but I would like to think that I'm the same dad that I set out to be when I first heard that I was going to be a dad.
Sure.
I feel like I have lived up to. I didn't have any of these crazy expectations. I didn't have any of these crazy things. I said, I want to be a dad that's cool, that can also discipline, and I want to be my kids' friends while also instilling the fear of God in them. And I think I've achieved that. So
You're a cool dad.
I'm a cool dad, but that can also be rough too, because you get to the point where
Come on, you're the cool
dad. Yeah. Are you serious? Why do you make me go to bed, Dad?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's tough. That's a slippery slope, and we're going to dive into that kind of stuff later on down the road. But I would like to think that I've got myself into a good spot where I feel pretty proud and pretty happy of how I've done so far.
That's good. You should feel proud.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was, I remember when Alyssa told me she was pregnant. We actually had been trying for a while, and her doctor actually told her she wouldn't be able to get pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And then we were on vacation, and she, at the start of the vacation, she was like, I don't know, something's not quite right. I just don't feel right. And her friend took her to the grocery store, and they got a pregnancy test. And on Father's Day, she goes, hey. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm pregnant. I was like, what? I was excited, and I was scared.
Yes.
And I didn't really know what the hell to do. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, oh God, I'm going to screw this kid up. That was like one of my first initial thoughts. I was like, I'm going to screw this kid up because, like I said, my parents, I love them to death, but they were not the greatest example.
Yeah.
They really weren't. That's my biggest fear is I'm going to screw my kids up. I think that's every parent's biggest fear.
Definitely.
I'm going to screw my kids up or something like that, or I'm going to mess them up or whatever. But the reality is that you're going to. But it's a matter of how you handle that going forward. And, for me, I didn't really fall into the fatherhood role until she came. She was delivered, and they put her in my hand because she was preemie. She was 6 weeks early, and she literally fit almost in the palm of my hand. She was so tiny, and she's a giant now.
Yeah.
And that was kind of when it clicked. And I remember my most distinct memory of being of a dad, who I was before versus who I am now, was she. I went to go change her diaper, and I lifted her legs up. You do the diaper swap.
Oh yes.
I did one of those maneuvers.
Yes.
And she still had a little bit in the cannon there, and it just kind of shot across the room, and I kind of lost my shit.
Yeah.
And Alyssa was like, I remember walking in, and you were flipping out and ripping diapers up, and you were just pissed off. And there was just poop all over all on the walls, and I think the biggest change that happened for me was when I talked to my father-in-law, Jerry, and he said, "You're gonna have those times when you're gonna get frustrated." He's like, "But it's a matter of how you handle yourself in front of them."
Yeah. Yeah. So you didn't have the fatherly guidance.
My dad was there,
Yeah.
but he wasn't really, I think 3 times I've heard him tell me he loved me in my whole life.
Okay.
And it was Jerry, my father-in-law, who has since passed. He's the one that he didn't have to tell me that he loved me. I knew he loved me. And that's kind of what I want with my kids. Like, you don't need to sit there and tell you every second of the day.
Yeah.
You know that I love you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's kind of the relationship
Absolutely.
that I have with my kids, I think.
Yeah, no. And see, with my family, we're I love youers.
Yeah.
We say it. Well, when you were over at the house the other day, Parker was my little one. He was in school, and when he has a little break from school, boom, he was downstairs right away. Every opportunity that he had
Yeah.
to come downstairs because he was excited that
The sink's not working.
that Uncle Uncle Aaron was over, so he wanted to see Uncle Aaron.
Yeah.
But the thing was, he every time he finished up, I would take care of the business with him, answer whatever he needed answered, and when he would go to turn to walk back up the stairs, he'd always say, "Love you, I love you." I'd say, "I love you too."
Yeah.
And it's just every time we see each other, we throw it out there. Does it devalue it? No, absolutely
No.
not. I think it's one of those little things where it's almost like we give each other a high five as we're leaving. Like,
Sure.
everything's good. You're cool with this? Okay, I love you. And that's the way that you part.
Yeah.
Everything's on the same page. We're good to go right now. If there's something that's not meshing, stuff isn't kosher, well, then we don't say it, and then that's a trigger. Then we say,
Then we
wait,
go,
wait,
wait,
whoa,
wait a
whoa, whoa,
second.
he
Yeah,
didn't
sure.
say he loved me. I've got to go get to the bottom of this. Then you go and you find out what's going on. So that's how we use it. Same thing when I'm talking to my mother, my father, stepmother, stepfather on the phone. Every single time we're getting off the phone, all right, I'll talk to you later. I love you. Bye-bye. It's the same. You always got to throw the I love you in there. So we're a family that always does that. I think that's very important. And like you said, there are some instances where that's never a deal. And if you're a father out there that doesn't say I love you, that's okay. That's how you go about it.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like you need to because they already know, kind of like you were talking, that's okay. There is no right or wrong answer when it comes to that stuff. And that's going to be a reoccurring theme on this. There is no right or wrong answer. I think that's what's so cool, and that's what kind of got me intrigued about this whole podcast thing.
Sure.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
Not only are the possibilities endless, but we're going to be learning stuff.
Yeah.
In researching for the show, hopefully we can get some people that we can talk to and bring them on where we're going to be learning stuff, because I can guarantee you, if you talk to my dad today, he's still learning stuff about being a dad. He's still learning stuff about how to handle his kid. He's still learning stuff about, right and wrong and all of this stuff. Society changes so much, so fast. And this generation's in a very unique position right now. And so you constantly have got to evolve your dadsmanship.
Ooh,
Craftsmanship,
there you go.
dadsmanship.
I like that.
It just came, boom.
Dadsmanship.
Boom. So it just comes up, your dadsmanship. You've got to constantly evolve. You've got to constantly mold and take off that part of it and redo it with this part, because it's ever evolving. So I think that's really cool. And I think it's neat to hear your stuff compared to my stuff. What's interesting too, and I think this is a perfect time to bring this up. My wife had a backstory much like yours.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's sometimes where I don't like to talk about how damn good my dad is, how what a great guy, and how awesome, because she doesn't necessarily have that. She can't relate to that because she didn't have that. But you know what? She looked to others to fill that dad void. She had an amazing relationship with her sister. Her sister helped, bring her up. I think that you can get dad stuff from anybody.
Yeah.
Dad figures. It's just whoever in your life fulfills that role and gives you the information that you need for that part of your life.
Yep.
That's who can be a dad. So you can be a woman, you can be the family dog. I don't care what it is. If you're a dad, and if you've got dad stuff in you to relay to these kids, then you're a dad, and you're doing the role of a dad.
Yeah.
So It's very neat stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, with your wife, she and I kind of had a similar father figure with Jerry. You know, like
Yeah.
she lived with them for I don't even know how long.
Crazy.
Yeah, and
how
that's kind of how we met. Really,
yeah,
is
yeah.
your wife and my wife were childhood friends. And so it's just a matter of finding almost the right person, I guess, to kind of be who you want to be, your dad figure, I guess, or your father figure, or whatever you want it to be, or
Yeah.
finding the right person to take those lessons from, and that's who Jerry was for me. So
Yeah.
I mean, just craft your dadsmanship,
Dadsmanship.
however you need it to be.
I'm going to trademark that tomorrow.
I love that.
By
That's
tomorrow.
a shirt. That would make that into a shirt.
Dadsmanship. That's right. That's right. And the cool thing too, and this is also what's neat is I always say my dad is so cool. My dad is so great about everything. There's plenty of my dad to go around.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a great relationship with my wife. It's my parents are good parents, and they are good parents for my wife as well.
Sure.
And I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
that
think
and
that's awesome.
that's how it was for Alyssa and I.
Yeah.
Is literally every Sunday we would be at Jerry and Sheila's house. We'd be having dinner, and Alyssa would be doing her laundry, and that was even before we were like moved in together, before we even got married or
Sure.
anything. And they just kind of welcomed me in. And that's I think the whole thing about being a dad or being a parent or whatever, it's about love, man. That's the main thing. Loving your kids, good and bad. That's it.
And loving yourself.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds cliche. You hear stuff like that on Dr. Phil, or you hear, not that I watch Dr. Phil, but you know what I mean.
He's a Phil head.
I'm a Phil Bean, whatever that means. I don't know. You gotta love yourself as well.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of dads out there that are too hard on themselves. There's a lot of dads who are trying to make the best of it.
Yep.
And it's just like you were saying. There's a lot of different figures out there that you can look to for that dad guidance, and it's funny when I actually break down the whole dynamic of our relationship and our wife's relationships and all of that. It's like you're talking about your dad figure being
Mm-hmm.
Jerry, your wife's father, and it's like my wife. Her big dad influence was also Jerry.
Yeah.
And then Alyssa was also Jerry, obviously, her
Yeah.
dad. So it's like, what a guy.
Yeah.
What an incredible
Yeah.
human being.
He was an amazing person.
I was glad that I got to meet him on a few different
Yeah.
occasions at kids' birthday parties and stuff like that. And I'm just happy that when it's two couples, it's you and your wife, me and my wife, and Jerry gets brought up just about every time. Something relates to something that Jerry had done or done, outright.
Yeah.
And it's like, thank God that I can have a little bit of something that I can attach to Jerry.
Yeah.
I may not have had a relationship, but man, I'm getting the dad vibes off of you guys from him, which is awesome.
Yeah.
What a great thing.
Yeah, he was a really, really good dad to Alyssa, and that was kind of, I was like, that's the dad that I want to be. I want to be
Yes.
him, not him, but I want to learn from him and take the lessons that he has given Alyssa and give those to my kids, because she's amazing. My wife is amazing.
Indeed.
And I can't stress enough how important it is to be supportive of everyone in the house. And I want to share the Jerryisms with everyone. It's kind of what I'm calling them.
Yes.
He had interesting ways of disciplining, which growing up in my house were very different.
Yeah.
In my house, it was you were chased around with a broomstick, screamed at until your room was picked up. And in his house, it was, oh, you didn't do your homework? Well, you're going to write sentences. And Alyssa has a perfect penmanship. So to this day,
See, double-edged sword. It
it's
worked.
exactly,
It worked.
exactly. So, that's what it is for me is sharing those things with the dads of the world. I keep doing this like there's a camera there, but there's not.
Yeah, I'll be your camera for you.
Oh, okay.
I saw. Oh, elegant, elegant, so great. I think that's a good segue into what is it that really stands out the most with my dads, and I would say, work hard. Both of them incredibly hard workers. My dad retired from Caterpillar, worked in the factory, lugging heavy iron, and he knew all the machines in his area, and everybody had the utmost respect for him. And anytime that we were around his work friends, man, they just loved him. They loved his sense of humor. They always messed with him because he's the type that you just instinctively want to have a inside joke with him, so you can see that side of him, and you can laugh with him because it's infectious. And so that's how my dad is, just a hard worker, very respected. My stepdad, same thing. He works at Komatsu, and what a hard worker. He's a welder, works his butt off. Doesn't know the meaning of the word quit, and I think that's awesome. So my two biggest fatherly figures in my life, the one thing that collectively they can bring together, they've taught me, it's work hard, do a good job for people.
Yep.
Don't give up, don't quit, all of that standard stuff that comes along with that. But it was just go out there and work hard, make something out of yourself, be something inspirational for your kids. It's just, that's very important. So that's kind of come off on me, and with all this stuff that's going on right now with the COVID, and how it's wreaked such havoc with people's jobs and livelihoods and all of this stuff. I'm going to go right now. I'm going to set $1 on the table, and I'm going to say to you,
Oh boy.
that any effort that I have in my being, any work that I am not getting to do on a daily basis at my job, I'm going to put 110% of that extra effort into this podcast. Right now, I'm going to say it, into this podcast.
Oh my gosh. I will see your dollar.
Yeah.
And I will raise you a YouTube channel.
What?
Yeah. How about that?
Genius. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. Yes. We've got all these ideas for stuff we want to talk about. We've got all these ideas for discussions and funny things to talk about and whatnot. There's a whole new world out there, my friend.
That's right.
This YouTube world where 8-year-olds are millionaires because they make videos of them playing with toys.
Opening up toys, the unboxings and all that stuff. What?
Just, my God.
It's crazy.
But we have got some funny things in our back pocket. We've got some ideas for some stuff that we can do with a YouTube channel. So we're going to be putting all that stuff together. And in the coming weeks, we'll have some content on there for you, as well as we were talking about a little live show, a little Talk Dad Talk.
Talk Dad Talk.
Talk Dad Talk Live.
That's right.
And we'll do that. We're shooting for, I believe, Sundays. Right?
Yep, Sundays. For us, it's Central Time, so I think we're looking at possibly 7 or 8.
Yes.
I'm not sure yet.
7 or 8 Central Time, and basically it's going to be a lot shorter than the podcast, but it's going to be 20-minute, half an hour discussion on. Hopefully, we get some feedback.
That'd be nice
On the podcast. Hopefully, we get some questions.
Some listeners.
Yeah, some listeners. Even just
good.
one. We'll take just one. We're
just
fine with
one
that.
regular. That's
Yes,
fine.
Yes, but we'll try to answer some questions, relay some stories. I think that's a big thing because we can give our point of view and our stories on stuff. But man, there's some cool dads with some great stories out there, and we want to hear it. We want to hear it. So right now, the easiest way to contact us why we're still getting all of this stuff for the brand, and the brand is Any Given Dad.
What does that mean?
Any Given Dad, it's something that just popped up one day, and this whole thing, what we're doing right now with the podcast, the live show, the videos, all of this stuff, this is for any dad out there. Any given dad, whether you are, in your opinion, a good dad, a bad dad, a dad that needs some help, dad that needs some work. Like, I said earlier, dads that already have all the answers and are just looking for maybe a little entertainment, a little something to pass the time as you're driving to work or whatever. This is for you. This is for all of you, any given dad, and this is the Not Half Dad podcast.
And when is the podcast going to air?
Well, February 3rd is where it's the official kickoff day. February 3rd. I think it's a good solid number.
Yeah.
I've always been attracted to February 3rd.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good looking number.
It's a good looking
Got
number.
some curves going on. Woo.
Yeah.
It's a very sexy day.
Very sexy day. And it's going to be even more sexier when we start
That's
unleashing
right.
all of this fantastic content for you here.
That's right. Yeah. The podcast is going to be able to be found at wherever podcasts are. So it'll be iHeartRadio, Spotify. It'll be on Pandora. It will be on Apple iTunes, the Google Play Store, everywhere. It will be everywhere. February 3rd. This is a little tasting. It's like a tasting. It's like a Gordon Ramsay tasting.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we got going on right now.
This is shite.
Yeah.
It's all shite.
So we're just giving you a bit of a morsel so you know what you're in for.
Yes.
We've done a lot of work on these episodes and the concept and where we're going from here. And I hope that you guys, all you dads and even moms out there, join us because it's going to be a big journey. It's going to be fun. We're going to learn a lot together. And man, I'm excited.
Ever evolving.
Yeah.
Ever evolving, and I agree too. I'm very excited about it. And we also have a Facebook page for the Not Half Dad podcast, so you can find if there's any changes, if there's anything that you want to say to us, if there's any content that you want to add. I think that the best way is either get a hold of us on the Facebook page or at nothalfdadpod@gmail.com.
And we have an Instagram page as well, which is at nothalfdadpod. So if you want to DM us through Instagram or Facebook or send us an email, both on Facebook and Instagram, it's at nothalfdadpod.
Beautiful. One thing that I think that we should do as we're wrapping up each of these podcasts,
Okay.
I think we leave a little fatherly advice,
Okay.
words of wisdom.
I like it.
I think it would be just something to kind of, for all these dads to spin in their brains as they're, trying to navigate all this, all the madness that is being a dad.
Yeah.
One thing that, if you don't mind, I would love to give the best fatherly advice that I have gotten from my fathers.
I want to hear Dan's fatherly advice. Lay it on me.
And I tell you what, this is honest to God, and I feel this with every fiber of my being, and it is very simply, live life to the fullest because you only live once. And I think that pretty much encompasses it all. It's so easy to get bogged down in crazy stuff and the world today and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Even something as simple as getting your kid to brush their teeth before bed. It's so easy to get bogged down, or every day is exactly the same, or whatever the case may be. But just realize you only got one shot at this.
That's right.
Okay? You only got one life to live. And live life to the fullest because it's just important. Each day is important. Each day, every word that you say to a kid is important.
Yep.
And I think that's just a good little nugget to leave off.
I agree. I like it.
Wipe that. You got a tear run down your cheek.
I did.
You dirty dog. You said you weren't going to cry this first episode.
I can't help it. You're just so inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I tell you what, Aaron, this is going to be one heck of a journey.
Yep.
And I would rather be doing it with no one but you.
Oh,
And thank you so much for
thank
everything.
you.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you liked the episode and you want to stay tuned for more from us from the Not Half Dad podcast, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that kind of good stuff. And mark your calendars. February 3rd is our launch date. We'll be launching our first 3 episodes. I'm very excited. I know Dan is excited. I hope you are excited.
Yes.
And I want you to stick to us like glue.
Oh, that was a dad joke.
Yeah, it was.
We should start ending this every time with
I
a
like
dad
it.
joke.
I love a good dad joke.